Sports betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show here on Bettor Sports Network. Yes, if you're tuning in to Twitter on Fantasy Alarm's Twitter page or YouTube page, Bettor Sports Network app, definitely send in your questions, your picks for tonight that we'll definitely comment on. MLB picks, plenty of picks that we'll get to, but I got Howard Bender here to break it all down. What's up, Howard?
What's up, Servo? How you doing? How's everything going with you? You're looking sharp in red today, man. I got to tell you, it's a nice contrast, the skin tone, the brown eyes. I mean, so handsome, my friend, so handsome.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I guess when you when you can rock red as well as I can, why not do it more? So here I am. It's a Maryland shirt here, and I'm wearing it because we're talking some NBA draft, college prospects. There's no Maryland guys in the top tier there. So besides that fact, we will be talking some NBA draft, some Victor Wembanyama, teaching Howard how to pronounce the guy's names. The guy's going to be an NBA star for a decade or so. So we'll definitely you got to get on it now.
Really? Is he the next Zion Williamson? Because he was supposed to be.
Ideally, he's gonna be better than Zion Williamson.
Well, dude, you couldn't be worse than Zion if you just didn't show up. That is, I mean, let's face it, that dude doesn't stay on the court, and got so fat that his sneaker exploded. So come on, let's.
He's better than Zion. He's supposed to be better than Zion. So, I mean, he's literally gonna be. I mean, he's viewed as the best NBA draft prospect since LeBron. So there's that.
Oh, okay. So he's the generational talent.
Yes.
Of this generation now.
Yeah. We'll be talking some NBA draft odds, and spoiler, he is minus 50,000 to go number one overall. So I don't know if you want to bet on that. It's not even worth throwing it into any parlays or anything. So, but yeah, we'll be talking some of the who's going to go number two, who's going to go number three. Later in the week, we will definitely have Justin Fencerman on to break some of those odds down, some of the teams, team needs and all that. But it's NBA draft week. It's Monday, so we got to get in on this now. And there's already been some odds movement, so going to be interesting to talk about that. But we got plenty of baseball games tonight to give out picks for. As I mentioned, if you guys have any questions, comments, or picks for tonight, we'll be happy to answer them. Maybe you line up with either me or Howard, and just looking through some of these picks, I think me and Howard disagree on a couple, so which is going to be fun to debate there. Let's get to our MLB best bets for tonight's games. What do you got for your top pick tonight, Howard?
Tonight I'm just going to go with a nice, easy peasy, lemon squeezy money line bet here. For the first 5 innings, again, we've learned our lesson about trusting bullpens. Even bullpens as great as the Giants and the Padres have been over the past 2 weeks, but Padres have Michael Wacha on the mound. The Giants are going with the opener Ryan Walker, and then Sean Manaea, who was just throwing on Friday, also is going to be that bulk reliever. So we've seen Manaea get slapped around by the Padres before. Earlier this season. So give me the Padres and Michael Wacha. Michael Wacha, have you seen what Michael Wacha has done? The dude is he's 18-5 or 18-4 over his last 36 starts dating back to last year with the Red Sox. Hasn't allowed, more than 2 earned runs in a start in the last 10 starts that he's made this season. So Padres first 5 innings money line. I got that for minus 115 on BetMGM.
Well, listen, I got to push back right away here. I'm sorry, Howard.
If you're feeling froggy, you better jump. Let's go.
So I'm not backing the Giants on the money line or anything but I am taking their team total over. I like their over 3.5 on DraftKings at minus 140. Wacha's look, if you look at his ERA, it's great. 2.89. He's been, like you said, he's been pumping out some good outings, but he's got a 3.40 WHIP and a 4.05 expected ERA. That worries me with him. And I think this is an offense in the Giants that's been, top 5 all season against right-handed pitching, and especially lately, they've even been better against right-handed pitching with a 3.88 WOBA. I think this is a spot they can get some runs against Waka. I mean, maybe you are right. The Padres are still leading after 5 innings, whatever. But I still think the Giants' offense is going to have.
It could be 6-4. I don't care.
It could be, yeah. But I think I'm not as sold on Waka for this matchup. So, but the offense Giants, by the way, is just they're averaging 9.2 runs per game over the past week. Where they just swept the Dodgers, had ran up the scores and all those, and 7-game win streak too in this span. So I think the over 3.5 is really good here. They've hit this over in 10 of 12 games too. So
I know, but it's it's kind of like that's the letdown. It's always an emotional battle when they go up against the Dodgers, and that's one of the things. Also, I'm out here in the Bay Area, so I know that like the fan base alone has already spent its emotional capital on that Dodgers series. And while, yes, the fans, now that they've swept the Dodgers, feel like they're going to be invincible, and it's the first time in I don't know how long that they're going to win a World Series in an odd year. But I kind of that's why I'm back in the Padres here. I get where you're coming from, Waka. I've been very suspect about Waka, all year long, and even dating back to last year. So I mean, I get where you're at with that, but. Okay.
Well,
I see you've got a different best bet. You're not crapping on my bet as your best bet. You're actually got something else. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I wanted to throw that in since we were talking about that game here. I'm not always going to agree with you, so.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. That's what makes the world go around. For every winner, there's got to be a loser, right?
We'll see. So, but like you said, it could be 6-4 after 5 innings. I'll be good with that.
That is true. I'm fine with that too.
Or just, maybe the bullpens come in. I get a couple more runs late. I'll be fine with that.
If you win, I'm happy as long as it's not at the expense of my win.
There you go. We can both win. But yeah, my best bet is another team, the Red Sox, also coming off an emotional weekend series against the Yankees. You're just talking about the Giants coming off that series with the Dodgers. But yeah, the Red Sox here after that doubleheader against the Yankees, I think the bats might have a little bit of letdown early in this one. So I'm targeting the first 5 under in the 4.5. But for 2 reasons. I mean, one is that this offense against Pablo Lopez, who is due for some positive regression here. He got a better expected ERA than his ERA at 4.27. And then I said the bats for the Red Sox, I think, come out a little bit sleepy early on in this one. And their offense, by the way, overall, their numbers against righties are really good, but they're actually below average in recent weeks, and at home or away, they're also a below average offense than at home. So this is a spot with the Red Sox on the road, definitely targeting them. But James Paxton, I mean, is he for real? This guy is kind of like Waka, just having one of those bounce back years, coming off of Tommy John surgery. He's got a 3.09 ERA this year. And I think I'm buying in, especially tonight against the Twins offense that's bottom 5 against left-handed pitching this season, and even worse numbers over the past 2 weeks, 247 WOBA against lefties. So there's a spot. I think Paxton is going to have success. I like his over 6.5 Ks too. That's also one of my best bets. Over in 4 of 6 starts this year, 33% strikeout rate for Paxton. Just one of those guys sometimes we get pitchers who benefit from Tommy John, or maybe they have another setback, but he's a guy that he looks really rebuilt and refreshed this season, even as an older pitcher. And I mentioned this Twins offense, 28% strikeout rate against lefties this year, second worst in the majors. And over the last 2 weeks, it's up to 30% strikeout rate. So I think there's a spot Paxton could have success. So I like the first 5 under, both pitchers having success here, and then Paxton doing his thing in the strikeout department.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely I'm not a James Paxton fan. I've never been, but like you said, we see guys react to coming back from Tommy John surgery differently, and usually they say that velocity is the first to come back, command and control is the last to come back, and it does look like Paxton has honed his command and control. So he is definitely in a nice spot. The Twins do suck against left-handed pitching. They do strike out a ton against left-handed pitching. And Paxton does generate some decent swinging strike numbers. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I can get behind that. As a Yankees fan, just coming off of that sweep, I obviously hope that all the Red Sox go in the tank. But for your sake here, I hope your bet hits. Let the bullpen give up 72 runs to the Twins. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't go the full game under there. I'm a little worried about bullpens always worry me. So I'm like you. I was just targeting the first 5 innings as one of my best bets. By the way, before we get to some more picks here, the Fantasy Alarm Fantasy Football Draft Guide is now available. If you haven't heard, it's available starting last week, but you can go get it now. If you have an All-Pro subscription, you can get it immediate free access to the draft guide. But you can also buy it for $26.99 over at Fantasy Alarm. So go to fantasyalarm.com there. You can get help with dynasty leagues, redraft leagues, all your best ball leagues, rankings. We got the quarterback rankings article up today from Andrew Cooper. His tiered quarterback rankings there. We got rookies, busts, sleepers, all that. And plenty of articles coming out like every day, literally. So just right up until draft season. I mean, it's currently draft season, but if you're already drafted, definitely get on this now or prep for August whenever you're doing your draft. So definitely go to fantasyalarm.com, get that draft guide. Howard, what else you got for tonight? Another pick for us.
Other picks for tonight. Let's see. Where did I go? Well, I definitely went to the Detroit Tigers Kansas City Royals game. That's starting up 6:40 p.m. Eastern tonight. I took the Tigers on the first 5 inning run line. I just need them to have a lead. I think it was like minus 170 for the Tigers on the first 5 inning money line. So I'm going to take the first 5 innings run line there. I mean, listen, Reese Olson isn't any great shakes at all, but Detroit's offense now over the past I'd say the past week has been fantastic. Over a 360 weighted on base average, a 230 isolated power mark. They're riding high right now. Kansas City sucks. They really do. Jordan Lyles is atrocious. Like how that dude, Jordan Lyles in his last 10 starts has only given up fewer than 4 earned runs. Like once in his last 10 starts, 4 fewer earned runs. Or 4, like less than 4 runs. He's given up 4 a couple of times, and he hasn't gotten past the 5th inning in 7 of those 10 starts. So give me the first 5 innings. Let Detroit just grab a quick lead there. Yeah, I know you like Jordan Lyles. He sucks though. Why in the world would you back Jordan Lyles? Give me lay it out for me here. I am all ears, my friend.
As soon as I saw you put this pick in, and I had Jordan Lyles to record a win at plus 225 on DraftKings. It's actually gone down. It's now plus 215 on DraftKings. Listen, the dude is 0-11 this year, right? He is not.
Here we go. Here's the he's due analysis for a win.
He's due. Last year he had 12 wins. Okay, the year before that he had 10. He's not going to go winless all year. The dude is going to win, and what better time to actually get a win than against the Tigers? I know they've been a little bit better offensively, but they're still overall one of the worst offenses against righties, and against a rookie pitcher in Olson. You mentioned, I know he's flashed at times this year, but I think this is a spot. If Lyles is ever going to get a win, it might be here. So believe it or not, I am going with Jordan Lyles to record a win. By the way, plus 225. I mean, I could either bet on this and, who knows, it could come through, or I could bet on someone to hit a home run, which I've been having terrible success with that. Those never come through for me. So I'd rather take this odds here.
I don't remember where the quote was, but I literally just saw this over the weekend as well. Our producer, Adam Bernard, says the Washington Generals are due too, but you don't pick them against the Globetrotters. And that's true. So, Servo, I feel like
they're actually rigged for them to lose, though.
I feel like we need some personalized side action on this game.
Okay. What are you thinking here?
Well, I mean, listen, I had Adam Bernard singing like a canary. So I feel like that should be the standard bet here. Let's see, what do I want you to sing? You know what? I want you to sing Africa by Toto if you lose.
Okay.
You just give me the chorus. You don't have to give me the whole song. You don't have to give me all the lyrics. But you gotta give me the chorus.
So I'll sing that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, and then you can take your pick of anything in the world. And wow, I can't wait to get back in here, Bernard. Come on, you wanted to say so. Get in here. Don't hide.
I was gonna warn him to not do a song, and then that's what had happened. And I'm trying to get Toto queued up as we speak, so we can play it underneath.
What is the bet? Because my odds are very much juiced up in favor of like the Tigers are favorites here. So what are we talking here?
Right. Well, that's why I gave you Toto by Africa by Toto instead of giving you like a Taylor Swift song.
Right? Okay, I'm just saying I am you're the favorite here.
Dude, so okay, I'm the favorite. So take your pick. What if I lose?
There it is.
There we go. One of the greatest songs ever written.
If you lose, you have to sing. I don't know, dude. I gotta think about this. I might have to get back to you.
I'll tell you what, man. Take your pick. Take your pick. You can say it to me in private, and then if I lose, then it'll be a big surprise for all of our viewers.
We're just looking up most embarrassing songs to sing.
Are you Googling? Are you
Yes.
Googling right now? All of a sudden, you got really serious there in posture. Boop beep boop beep boop boop. Typey.
Okay, you have to sing "My Humps" by Black Eyed Peas.
My Humps by Black Eyed Peas? Absolutely, 100%. Book it, baby. Book it. So the bet here is that Jordan Lyles does not record a win.
Okay,
and I have to hit my prop also. And I have to hit my prop. I'll say
I think you have to also hit yours because I got plus 225 odds on this. Okay,
so I have to hit both. All you need is for Jordan Lyles to record the win.
Unless you want to also, not hit yeah. I guess if he records a win, they probably won't be leading after 5, right? I guess he could, but
it's possible. We don't know. Well, they could be tied after 5.
They could be.
And then that would make I would lose my bet then. But
okay,
I won't put that on you. You just Jordan Lyles to record a win, and I'll be singing My Humps. Is that what it is? I don't even know that song.
No.
All that junk inside your trunk.
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump. My hump.
All right, we'll put this down before any lyrics start.
Oh, that's fantastic, man.
All
I'll
right.
do that.
There's the bet.
I mean, it'll never happen, but I'll agree to it.
Do you have to do the moves of some of the dance from the video as well?
I don't think anybody really needs to see that. We want to attract viewers. We don't want to scare them away.
I don't even know what the video is, so I just know the song. All right, well then, what else you got? Let's see if we can disagree on another pick here.
All right, let me look and see your bets. Beep 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 beep. No, I guess we don't overlap with the rest. I'm going to the Rockies Reds game. Brandon Williamson on the mound for the Reds. Austin Gomber on the mound for the Rockies. Gomber has given up some work to left-handed hitters. Welcome back, Joey Votto. Wow, Joey Votto's in the lineup. He's at first base with Spencer Steer moving out into right field. So, this Reds lineup, super tasty. They're coming off of what they just swept the Astros. They swept the Royals before that. They took 2 of 3 in the series, I guess, against the Guardians right before that. So, listen, these Reds are absolutely a blast to watch. They're a ton of fun. They've got great hitters. It's, the smallest of ballparks here. So, you know what? Give me the Reds and Rockies over 10 runs. It's minus 120 on DK. I don't think that the Rockies do much contributing here, but 7-3, 7-4 game. I think like a 7-4, 8-3 game is certainly in the cards here.
This is one I can back. I'm with you on this one, Howard, because I think this Reds offense is they're on fire right now. I've mentioned it on this show. I'm not doing it tonight. I might be taking the pick, on my own, but not giving it out here, is the Reds team total. It's just been hitting literally every single game, almost every single game ever since Servodidio Cruz entered that lineup. This offense is just on another level. They get Votto back here. I feel like he's going to be a little amped to get into the youth movement there in Cincy. So yeah, I like at least the Reds offense side of things, and I don't really trust Brandon Williamson against the Rockies, even though the Rockies on the road aren't, the best, but I still, that total is pretty high for a reason. So
Dude, I'd tell you what, if I were the Cincinnati Reds, this is their youth movement and they're all having a great time, I would have like the clubhouse attendant, like as soon as Votto steps up to the plate, brings out all these like walkers and canes and things like that for the rest of the team, so that when Votto goes yard in that first at bat, they all just throw him onto the field out of the dugout. And Votto, when he comes back from touching home plate, gets all the celebration, but they have all the grandpa stuff for him, the geriatric stuff. I'm trying to choreograph their celebration instead of, I don't know what hat or what chain or whatever they put on you after hitting a home run now in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I've lost track of which hats and which celebrations are which in the major leagues right now. There's just every team has one. So one of my picks tonight, and by the way, I might have a Rockies player going yard for my home run call, so stay tuned for that. So that'll help.
Might or you do?
I know I do.
Okay. Well, you said you might, so
I'm trying to tease it for people to tune in,
Well, then be like, hey, I got a Rocky for my home run prop, and this dude is gonna hit a bomb. Wait till you hear.
There it is. Exactly what Howard just said. Tune in a little bit later.
Tune in a little bit.
I'm going with Jose Barrios over 4.5 strikeouts here. A play I gave out for the underdog article up on Fantasy Alarm as well. But this line just seems a tick or two too low. He's been over this in 10 of 14 starts this season and 6 of his last 8 outings. He's averaging 5.5 strikeouts per start this season. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher this year, kind of down from his career averages, but I just think this number is a little too low, even against the Marlins team that's about average in terms of strikeouts against righties this season, 22%. But against, in the over the past week against righties, they're like a bottom 10 offense against right-handed pitching, and with 295 WOBA, 215 batting average. So I think there's a spot Barrios can have success in the swing and miss department there. 4.5 strikeouts, I think it's like a strikeout too low for him, just how good he's been. Not like striking out 7, 8, 9 per start, but he's been getting 5 pretty consistent.
I actually had that exact same thought. I saw that number. I was like 4.5. Really? I thought it was an alt line at first, and it does seem a little low. And then I started kind of researching it. I always tend to look around the interwebs to see what games people are on, and a lot of people are on the first 5 innings under 4.5 for Toronto, Miami. A lot of people in on Jose Barrios. So that makes me a little nervous. I did hear a little bit of chatter, pro Michael Wacha chatter, also, which made me a little nervous. But I've always been a kind of a contrarian bettor in the sense that when everybody is on a play, I immediately turn around and go the other way. So I can understand you making this bet for fear that everybody in the universe is wrong. I'll just say no bet for me.
I give you credit, Howard. You've been always like shying away from the group think when we do these shows, and not always just jumping on the easy one. I'll be honest. I was looking at this before, I didn't even know people were talking about Barrios tonight, but that makes me more confident in it, I guess.
Does it though, or does it make you suspicious? Like everybody's. What was it? Was it was the time you and I were talking about how much of a lock Mitch Keller was one Monday?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh,
and he
blew
up.
How'd that work out for us, huh? Oh, not even a courtesy spit. It was terrible.
He blew up. Yeah.
So bad.
But that Marlins lineup, I mean, after you get through Arias and Soler and maybe De La Cruz, it really is not that tough, you know?
No, it's not. I mean, Jesus Sanchez strikes out a bunch.
Yes, I guess Sanchez could hit a homer too, but
Garrett Cooper's got like a really long swing, so he usually tends to strike out a little too often. I hear you, man. I hear you. That's one of the things why I was like, why do they only have it set at 4.5 strikeouts? And if you've got it set that low, you would think that the odds would be a little better. Like, give me like a minus 135 or something like that. But no, minus 116 on FanDuel.
You got a point. Yeah, it's minus 130 on DraftKings, but still, it's like it still hasn't. Sometimes if you see this, it might move up to 5.5 at some point. Move up a strikeout if everyone's taking it. But he's hooking his mouth. Yeah, I got four in the hook. I just need 5 strikeouts here. All right, you got any more picks for us? I know I got one more before we get to some NBA draft odds. But yeah, what else you got tonight?
Just a simple, easy peasy prop. Again, it's just going back to the Reds. Matt McClain. Over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Where he hits in that lineup in second is great. He's like he's a great singles hitter. He does really, really well against left-handed pitching. So I'm kind of psyched about that for McClain. Again, it's minus 135. There's a little bit of juice on that, but I mean, for him to get over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, I'm good for that.
Nice. Adam Ronis got replied to James Grande's home run tweet from today saying that Matt McClain would go yard plus 450. I considered him for my home run call too, because he's like you're just saying that the spot's really good for him, and he could. I mean, the hits, runs, and RBIs prop, I guess, is definitely a safer way to get exposure to him than taking his home runs. But I like the call.
Thank you.
And Adam Ronis agrees, I guess. I will go my last pick, the Diamondbacks on the first 5 run line. I like this spot for Merrill Kelly. Just been really good on the road, a 2.12 ERA this season on the road compared to 3.67 at home. Just really consistent too is Kelly. 9 quality starts in his past 12 outings. Just keeps pumping out these solid outings. And he's facing a Brewers offense that's bottom 10 in the league against righties this season. And over the past 2 weeks, bottom 5 offense against right-handed pitching with a 288 WOBA, 29% strikeout rate. I considered Kelly's strikeouts prop here, but just kind of keeping it to this run line here, thinking that the D-backs can also get to Corbin Burns. Just hasn't been as dominant as his Cy Young season or even last year has Burns. And the Diamondbacks are a very tough offense against right-handed pitching, top 5 most categories against righties this season and a low strikeout rate. And over the past 2 weeks, just crushing righties, 378 WOBA and a low 18% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. So I think there's a spot where Burns could struggle. Kelly's going to do his thing. And I like getting the underdog. I looked at the money line too for the first 5, but I like the run line just to kind of a little safety. Like if it's a tie game, then I still cash it.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that they're getting the half a run instead of giving the half a run definitely makes it a little bit easier. I love backing the Diamondbacks. I mean, really. I mean, did anybody in their right mind think that the D-backs would be sitting there in first place right now in the West? I don't think so. So
no way.
Kudos to them, and I'll bet it. Sure.
Yeah, and I looked at their money lines minus 105 for the full game too. Like I looked at that too. The bullpens obviously is always a concern, and just wanted to keep it to the first 5 here for this one. But I'd also look at their money line if you want to go that route too. So those are our best bets and betting picks. We got some home run calls coming up in just a little bit. And by the way, if you haven't already, go over to Fantasy Alarm. The All-Pro package, you can get that right now. Promo code ALARM50 for 50% off the first 6 months. And that'll give you, if you get the All-Pro package, you get the draft guide we were just talking about, fantasy football draft guide at Fantasy Alarm, and definitely access to all of our DFS playbooks. Howard's best bets article from today, where he goes in depth on a lot of his picks that we were just talking about. DFS playbook for MLB. We got PGA DFS playbook for this week coming up. NBA DFS playbook during the NBA season. So all that, definitely get on that. Promo code alarm50. And let's get to some NBA odds here. The NBA draft is Thursday, and Howard's going to kind of hit me with some of these questions. We got, some interesting spots. Victor Wembanyama is definitely the top pick overall going to the Spurs, but we got questions for the other ones.
We do. We definitely do. One thing I also wanted to add as far as your Fantasy Alarm subscription, if you don't have a subscription, go to fantasyalarm.com/draft guide, because you can get a 7-day free trial and just take it for a spin. You can take a look at my rankings for NFL. Andrew Cooper's rankings are there for NFL. And then, obviously all the DFS content that we're putting out for MMA, PGA, NASCAR, MLB. That's all available to you through our 7-day free trial. Not to mention access in Discord. Get to chat it up. So,
for sure.
All right, Servo, let's talk hoops, because listen, I don't know anything about hoops, but I like to listen to the people who do know what they're talking about. So, Wembanyama is obviously the lock for the number one. What'd you say? It was like minus 50,000 for him to be the first pick.
Yeah, he's a lock to be number one. There's really no point in going over his odds and all that because it's happening.
Okay, which is fine. That makes it, what? I like it. It's nice. It's decisive. We've got that set there. So then I guess it comes down to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm looking at some of the odds there. Scoot Henderson at minus 190. Brandon Miller at plus 135. Again, I don't know much about these guys, but talk about the fit within the Charlotte Hornets and what the team is planning to do. Is Scoot Henderson at minus 190 kind of a lock?
So interesting development here. So about a couple hours ago, when I was first putting in these odds in our Google Docs show plan, it was Scoot Henderson about minus 145, a bit closer. And then as soon as we went live, it was minus 190, that current number you saw. And right now, if you look on FanDuel Sportsbook, it's minus 210 for Scoot Henderson to go number two. So these odds are moving. It looks like someone's got, people have some intel that the Hornets are going number two. They have LaMelo Ball as their lead guard, their point guard there, their star. But there's been conversations of, because of his injuries this past year and because of Scoot Henderson being, a legit star, talent pick at the guard spot, that why would you not pick him over Brandon Miller, who's, kind of a wing, a small forward type, but isn't viewed as like a better prospect than Henderson. So it's been a debate between these two guys, whether who would be number two, who would be number three, because it is clear that they are the next two guys off the board after Victor Wembanyama. But it's clear that Henderson is the better talent. On Friday, I actually sent a tweet out. He was plus odds, plus 125, I think he was, to be the number two pick. I sent a tweet out, said, go grab that now. And now it's minus 210, as I just said. So it looks like the Hornets are going that direction. Or is it going to be a trade? Someone moving up to go get Henderson, which, because he's viewed as the number two guy behind Wemby, basically the draft starts at 2. Maybe a team is willing to move up and trade up into the Hornets spot there, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens by Thursday either.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you what we thought about the possibility of, of trades happening here at picks 2 and 3. But it seems right now you've got it locked in there. And Josh Gillum over in our chat says Miller is going to be better than Scoot overall. I mean, listen, is that a possibility here? Maybe. I don't really know, but I mean, let's say Scoot goes to Charlotte and Miller goes to Portland. Who's in the better spot here?
Well, so the other thing to think about is with Portland at 3, they might be trading out of that pick or trading some kind of assets because of Damian Lillard's situation with them. Like if they're looking to trade Dame Lillard before Thursday or on draft night, then this pick is, just a little bit different. And if the number 3 pick is in the trade too, it's another team moving up. So it's tough to really tell like if Brandon Miller, right now, so minus 180. It's actually, again, he moved to minus 210 on FanDuel right now to be the number 3 pick because it looks like Scoot is more penciled in, or maybe in pen to be that number 2 pick. But I mean, Miller whoever goes to a team with Damian Lillard's obviously going to be a great spot compared to the Hornets, more rebuilding. And, if it's Scoot and LaMelo as the 2 guards in that, it's tougher to get a better read. I just think that Miller, he's kind of limited in his offensive game to me. I mean, he's like the taller wing type. He's really good 3-point shooter. He just kind of showed some limitation at Alabama, and Alabama was a really good team, but that was more or less because they played like an NBA style offense where they played fast, played up tempo, which he benefited from, and they had really good defenders around him that kind of like masked some of those deficiencies. But I think like Scoot is, I think he might be better. I know Josh is saying Miller could be better than Scoot, but I think there's a reason Scoot is like the legit number 2 pick here.
Now, if we move further down, let's say that so those are the top 3, and then we get kind of some differing opinions at the number 4 for the Rockets, number 5 for Detroit. But I mean, I guess we're kind of looking at very similar names here. Amen Thompson. How do I pronounce it? Ashur Thompson also?
Yeah,
he's in there, and Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
So is that the bet to kind of explore? Or are you worried about trades? Because, like when we were betting on the NFL draft and we were talking about the possibility of doing, one of those trifecta bets where we end up picking those, dare you go into picks 4 and 5 and look at, 2 out of these 3 guys? Who would you favor?
Yeah, so these are the Thompson twins and Cam Whitmore from Villanova. And I see Josh Gillum in the chat as a Villanova logo, so he probably loves Whitmore here. I like him too. The Thompson twins are, they both play, one of them is kind of like a lead guard type, and the other one is more of like a wing. So they are different, and Amen is viewed as like the kind of the better prospect, so he'll probably go first. And that's why he's favored here at number 4 to Houston. But the thing with Houston, so they might get James Harden. He's the guy that's out there. It seems like a lot of these teams, the Hornets, could also, they've been rumored as a possible trade spot to trade out, as I mentioned, if they're trying to acquire, like a Zion Williamson who's on the market or someone else. So it's like the Hornets at 2, at 3 the Trailblazers, and at 4 the Rockets could all have some significant big names either moving in or out within the next couple days here that could affect this draft. But say they do get James Harden there, then you might want a guy like Whitmore, who's, a wing, a small forward type there, that can kind of play better alongside him. Whereas, Amen Thompson, you might not want like an elite guard kind of guy there. So I think there's value in betting on Whitmore there to be the number 4 pick.
It's interesting. Houston Rockets going to possibly reacquire James Harden. I guess the strip clubs in Houston definitely better than they are in Brooklyn or Philly for that matter. Yeah, I would. Yeah, like knowing what I know about both Brooklyn and Philly. Yeah, I would say that he should maybe he should explore looking at like going to Miami or possibly even Orlando. I'm sure those strip clubs are totally
Atlanta, right?
No, Atlanta, forget it. I mean, he goes to the Hawks. I mean, that's just, unbelievable. What's that? What's the name of that place? What was the name of that place? There's a gentleman's club out there. They've got Lou Williams lemon pepper wings on the menu.
Oh, yeah.
Lou Williams was like, he actually said that this place was the best restaurant that he'd ever been to. That's like Ron Swanson being like, the best place to buy anything is food and stuff. Right. So now all of a sudden this is the best kitchen he's ever been to was at this club. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of it. Somebody's got it. Somebody's got it. Throw in the chat.
Adam's saying the Gold Club in the chat.
No, it wasn't the Gold Club. That's not the name of it. Ah, man. Magic City. Josh Gillum, everybody. Josh Gillum. You know what, Josh
is tuned in here. I love it.
Josh should email me at howard@fantasyalarm.com. I got to give you something free in there, whether it's free subscription, whether it's a we can find a hat or a shirt or something like that for you. Josh, email me. We'll cover you there for that. Magic City. That's what it was in Atlanta. Nice. All right, let's go on. Let's go on here. So we've talked about the Thompson twins, which, mind you, not a single reference to the song "Hold Me Now" or the '80s pop duo, the Thompson twins, which really just shows that I'm tired of working with young kids and I need to work with older generation people. Let's talk about some top 10 odds here. Just for guys who are going to be in the top 10, we've got a couple of intriguing names here. What is it? Bilal Coulibaly, your boy Grady Dick, Derek Lively, Kobe Buffkin. That's what I like. Buffkin. Give me Grady Dick and Kobe Buffkin. Those are the two. Those are like my two favorite rookies right now. And then you got Kason Wallace in there at plus 500. So out of the top 10 picks here, barring any kind of trades here, where do some of these guys? Where do you think these guys probably fit best?
Yeah, so interesting odds movement for this range, because on Friday another pick I tweeted out was look at Bilal Coulibaly as possibly a top 10 pick to sneak in there in the maybe 9 or 10, and he was at plus odds plus 430 or something it was, and now it's moved significantly here, plus 185 as you see there. There was rumors that he got a promise to be in the lottery, which is would be more than the top 10 there, but it looks like teams are high on him. He's kind of the other guy that played with Victor Wembanyama in the French team, the Metropolitans '92. And maybe that helped him, maybe it hurt him. It definitely got more eyes on him, people realizing how good he is. And some of the games you watch, like obviously Wemby flashes on the tape and he's dominating almost every game. But Bilal Coulibaly is legit. He can definitely emerge as one of the top, wings and scorers from this draft. So I think there's a chance people are like him, rising on him to be like the 9 or 10th pick. Like the Mavericks at 10 are a team that's rumored to possibly trade out if they're looking to acquire another big name guy. So that's a team what's like, if someone's high on Coulibaly, they can trade into number 10 or any of these guys. If they really like Grady Dick, if they really like Buffkin, Derek Lively, these are all guys that are right outside the range, but it's worth taking a shot on someone like Coulibaly, I think. And I liked plus 430, obviously, and I like him now too. Even though it's the odds have gone down, I just think some team really is going to want him, whether it's 8, 9, 10 in the back end of that top 10.
Okay, all right, I like it. Makes some sense. I'm gonna sprinkle a little plus 250 for Dick and plus 260 for Buffkin. Because those are I'm gonna bet the NBA draft like I bet the Kentucky Derby, right? It's like what
based on the names.
What horse name speaks to me the most? So if you're talking Dick and Buffkin, I mean that's gonna speak to me a lot louder than say Lively and Wallace. All right, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Wemby is obviously the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Like, I mean, if he's that much of a favorite to be the number one pick in the overall draft, then he's probably going to be the odds. Oh, there we go. And thank you, Adam Bernard, our illustrious producer. Look at these odds here. So I'll ask you this. Let's say Wemby turns out like Zion, maybe knock wood, he doesn't, lose his career over it, but he struggles in that rookie year. Who's the guy out of this crew here? I know that obviously a lot of it's going to have to determine about where they end up, but where would you sprinkle, even just say half a unit on one of these guys, or I guess rank top 3 bets out of potential NBA Rookie of the Year?
So Chet Holmgren is really interesting at plus 650 there, because he was top pick last year, but was out for the whole season. He hurt his foot, so he did not play at all last year, but he's coming back, technically still a rookie for this year. So he's an interesting guy, playing for the Thunder there. The Thunder kind of like an up-and-coming team and have a ton of talent, so it'll be interesting to see where he actually fits in on that roster and his role and how good like his stats are compared to like a Victor Wembanyama or other top rookies. But he's still a guy that he could, if you remember, do you remember him at all last year, Chet Holmgren, when we did some NBA draft talk, Howard? Okay, so he's
no, do I strike you as like somebody who retains basketball information from year to year like that? Come on. When I bring you onto the show to talk tournament and stuff like that, I hear team names. I barely hear people's names.
That's fair. So he was a one and done guy from the Gonzaga who just was like, very lanky, very, could shoot the three, but could like handle the ball too. But he's a guy that if he has some big games early on, he's going to catch a ton of steam being like, oh, everyone remembers Chet Holmgren. So at plus 650, I think he's interesting. But of like the incoming rookies, I think Scoot Henderson is the other guy to look there, plus 600. Obviously landing spot matters for a couple of these guys, but Henderson's a guy I think even if he plays with LaMelo Ball, he's going to have the ball in his hands and be one of their top scorers a lot. The other guys like Miller, Whitmore, and like especially Jarris Walker, they won't be like the team's best player or number one scorer, maybe even not number two scorer. They're going to be playing more of a role, a secondary role. So it's tough to be like, emerge as the rookie of the year. But an interesting trend to kind of consider here. So like Victor Wembanyama, going to be the number one pick, minus 180 there to be the rookie of the year on FanDuel. But if you look, so last year, Paolo Banchero was the rookie of the year out of Duke for the Magic, was the number one pick. But before that, we had 6 straight years, where the number one pick was not the rookie of the year that same year. So an interesting trend there. It happened last year. It happened previously with guys like Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins. But, we had years where like the number 4 pick, Scotty Barnes, was the eventual rookie of the year. The number 2 pick, Ja Morant, became the rookie of the year. Luka Doncic wasn't the number 1 pick. So interesting where we could have someone just kind of emerge. And the thing with Wemby that's interesting and just kind of keep in the back of your mind, if he has any type of injury, the Spurs are sitting him. He could go long stretches where he just doesn't play, any type of small injury where this season might not be as you expect from the stats standpoint, because the Spurs aren't trying to really contend this year. They want Wembanyama to be a stud 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years from now. So that's the other thing to kind of keep in your back in mind. Like Josh Gillum said in our chat, minus 180 seems low. It does when you consider he's, a lock to be the number 1 pick. But I just keep in mind that he might end up playing 50 out of 82 games. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think, the minus 180, it does seem low because I think Vegas wants you to bet that.
Yeah.
Like if they put him at minus 270, then you're not, then there's
people wouldn't bet it. Yeah.
Like, well, where's the value in betting that? But all of a sudden, if you're like at minus 180, which, for certain chalk picks, to me, minus 180 is like my cutoff point. Like there are certain things that I'll bet up to minus 175, minus 180 if I do think that they're a lock. So I think that the minus 180 is the book's way of just trying to get you to actually make that bet. Minus 180, it seems so low. And this dude is such a lock. I think, Servo, your point with the Spurs possibly sitting him if he gets even remotely banged up is definitely in play here. So I like that. I like that a lot. Good thinking.
So,
I like when people think these things through and question the lines. I really do.
Yeah, I mean the plus odds there for like someone like Chet Holmgren or like Scoot Henderson or even like a Cam Whitmore is a lot of talent, but it depends what team he lands. Like if he goes to Houston where he is, it's James Harden having the ball in his hands a ton and Whitmore maybe averaging less than 10 points, then obviously that's not a rookie of the year season. So. We'll see landing spot and see how these odds change after draft night too. Will be very interesting. There's some of those your odds, and again, we'll have Justin Fensterman on Thursday to really preview the draft, give some of his thoughts on these prospects. Maybe we'll have another big trade or two to talk about, as we just had the Suns do a big trade there, but maybe involving some draft picks, which would be interesting. By the way, coming up after us, we got the Quick Pitch MLB DFS live show with John and Pemba and James Grande, as they do every day at 5 o'clock Eastern here on Bettor Sports Network. So tune into that to get your MLB DFS lineups in there. And tomorrow morning, Howard Bender will be on a new show here on Bettor Sports Network at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We got Andrew Cooper, Corey Parson, Britt Flynn, and Howard as the hosts there, covering the top trending topics in sports betting and fantasy sports. It's a better morning is what we're calling it here, 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. So tune into that Bettor Sports Network YouTube channel and bettorsports.com. Let's get to our home run calls, our daily dingers of Monday night. Who do you got, Howard?
Well, first of all, by the way, cash your tickets if you had Jack Flaherty sucking at baseball, because right now he's already losing 5-0 in the third inning to the Washington Nationals, who have just been – they haven't even been doing it with home runs. They're just hitting them around. That's it. I mean, Flaherty's given up 8 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout, 5 earned runs through 2 innings. So on that. My home run call, I'm going back to the San Diego Padres. That's right. He might be 0 for 5 in 6 plate appearances against lefty Sean Manaea, but Fernando Tatis Jr. is just on another level right now. Hasn't hit a home run in a couple of games, so I'll take the he's due philosophy and say he's due for a home run off of Manaea. He's due for a home run anyway. Yum, give me some Fernando Tatis Jr.
So Tatis due for a home run. Jordan Lyles due for a win tonight. We'll see if both can come through.
No, he's not.
My home run call, going back to your Rockies Reds over there, I mentioned it earlier, and Howard gave a great tease. Ezequiel Tovar here at plus 550 on DraftKings. Facing Brendan Williamson, 7 home runs allowed this year through 6 starts, and 5 of those homers allowed at home in 3 home starts. And he's allowed 7. All 7 have come against right-handed hitters this year. So I'm looking at Tovar here. He's hitting 305 with 2 homers over his past 15 games. Usually hitting the top and number 2 hitter of that Rockies order. So plus 550, I'll take a shot on him.
He's got a 217 isolated power mark against left-handed pitching this season, which is 6th best on the Rockies. It is a hitter's ballpark in Great American Small Park. So provided that he doesn't get bit in the ass by that 31.5% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching, I guess, he's sink or swim. He's either going to hit a home run or he's going to strike out tonight. So I like it, man. Sprinkle.
Sweet. So to recap, we disagreed on a couple picks. We got this Jordan Lyles versus the Tigers bet going on for tomorrow. We'll see if I will be singing Africa by Toto. Or Howard might be singing this song tomorrow. We'll see.
I'm not even here tomorrow, so it's going to be Wednesday. Oh wait, what's today? What is today? Today is Monday. It'll be Wednesday's show that I'll sing, or Wednesday's show you'll be singing actually. So
one of us will be singing on Wednesday. I know
get that popcorn.
I guess we could. Is there a wash in this scenario? I didn't know if we.
Is there a wash? No, man. Keep it filthy, baby. Keep it filthy. Jordan Lyles. In order for me to win, I have to win my Detroit Tigers half a run. Bet plus. Jordan Lyles has to stink it up and not record the win. For you, just Jordan Lyles needs to record the win.
Okay. So if Jordan Lyles doesn't get a win, but the Tigers do lead on the run line at first 5, then that's a wash.
That's a wash. Look at that. Josh Gillum getting in on the daily dong pick here.
Matt McClain. That was your hits plus runs plus RBIs call, and I mentioned Adam Ronas on that pick for home run. I like that.
All right, Josh, you and me, buddy. You and me. We're in this together. One swing of the bat, and you and I both win. And then Servo's singing like a canary.
That's a different game. I'm fine. I told you, I'm fine with the Reds.
You're still going to be singing.
Well, appreciate everyone tuning in here. As Howard mentioned, we'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern to talk some more MLB betting picks. And then later this week, we got some more NBA draft talk. And on Wednesday, tune back in on Wednesday because one of us will be singing a song if this bet loses. But Howard, appreciate it as always, and our producer Adam Bernard always killing it behind the scenes. Tune in next time tomorrow. Good luck with your bets, everyone.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor